Beating Pokemon Fire Red with one Magikarp nearly drove me insane. Let's make today's challenge a fun one. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Fire Red with only a single Wobbuffet? Stats-wise, Wobbuffet is strange and insanely lopsided, but for a reason. Slow, weak, low defense, but insane health. This is because Wobbuffet's gimmick-based moveset. He only has Counter, Mirror Coat, Safeguard, and Destiny Bond. He can't learn any more moves, and he can't learn any TMs or HMs. This means that outside of using Struggle, Wobbuffet can't actually attack without being attacked first. He can only fight by counterattacking. This means the most mundane of battles will still require knowledge about the enemy's moveset, as well as a lot of luck. Just like last time, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if you think that I can win or not. I bet that I can do it, but that is going to take a really long time. I'm honestly really pumped to see what battles are unexpectedly hard. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Wobbuffet. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. I also won't use glitches or exploits. I won't be able to use items in battle this time. Lastly, a big thank you to Feltzer for suggesting this challenge in the comments section. Let's do this. So first I ended the game with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Mudkip with Wobbuffet because Grovyle is cool, and so I want my rival to use one. I named my Wobbuffet Wobbuffet, shoutouts to Gabriel Morton on Twitter for the suggestion, yes, that Gabriel Morton, and started on my journey. Right away, I find some wild Pokemon so I can start leveling up, and this is around the time where I think I need to go into detail on exactly why this challenge is a strange one. Do you see this Zigzagoon? It's the first Pokemon that I have to fight in the game, and he just misses and spams Gravel a lot. To attack, Wobbuffet either has to use Counter or Mirror Coat. Counter deals double the damage that I've just taken back to the opponent if it was a physical attack. Mirror Coat does the same thing, but with special attacks. This means that I can only do double the damage that they deal to me, regardless of my level advantage. So even if I were level 100, a level 5 Pidgey would still take multiple hits to kill. This also means that if I either guess their move wrong, or if they keep using debuffs like Leer, there's nothing I can do to stop them. Other than that, all I have is Safeguard to try and protect myself from different status afflictions. Destiny Bond is a complete dud move in this challenge, because it just means that killing me would kill my opponent, but because I can only use one Pokemon in battle anyway, fainting would just be a whiteout. After some painfully slow leveling, I go up north to have the first fight with my rival. Treecko leers the hell out of me, but I already have so much more health than it that my counters completely wreck him. Next, I decide to catch 5 Zigzagoons. Although I can't use them in combat, I learned a great trick from my Magikarp challenge, and that's to have a bunch of Pokemon with the pickup ability on the team so that I can slowly get free rare candies over the course of the game. Unfortunately, they'll need to be at least level 21, so until I get experience share to level them up with, they'll just mostly pick up junk for me to sell. I thought the path to Rustboro City wouldn't be that eventful until I ran into a trainer with a C-Dot. C-Dot can only fight by using Bide and hoping I hit him, but I can't unless he hits me, so I have to wait until I run out of power points just to beat a C-Dot, and because he used Harden 6 times, that process takes forever. That was brutal. Then the same thing happens shortly after with a Magikarp. God damn it. Speaking of Magikarp, I had a great comment on my Magikarp challenge video just asking me why I even did this. I feel like that question is very appropriate right now. On my very next trainer battle, I have the fear of God put into me as I realize an all-new problem. I only have 20 power points for counter, so when I fight a weak trainer that spams Pokemon such as bug catchers who use 4 Wurmples, I can actually run out of counters between them using String Shot and them being so weak that it takes 4 tackles for my counter to kill them. The only reason I won that fight without having to spend an extra 5 minutes running out of power points for Struggle is because his last tackle crit me, dealing extra damage, thus powering up my counter. One battle later, and a trainer's Poochyena causes me to make a horrifying discovery. Sand Attack actually impacts the accuracy of counter, so even if I get hit, my counter can miss. That means that any trainer that sand attacks heavily early in a fight is one that I may have to use Struggle against. Also, I ran into a shiny Slackoth. It's a bit of a pain to catch because of it putting me to sleep, and also the fact that I can't attack it while it's loafing around. I mean, I can't use it anyway, but you guys would probably crucify me if I didn't at least try catching it. Believe it or not, this is the first shiny Pokemon I've run into in any of these challenges, not counting the red Gyarados from the Lake of Rage, of course. Many awful trainer fights where they refused to attack me and would rather just growl later, and I'm at the Rock Gym. Roxanne was horrible, not because she was difficult, but because she wasted so much time missing and using Harden that I actually ran out of counters the first time and had to restart the fight, since I wouldn't survive long enough to get to struggle. The second time, I just flat out got beat. Nosepass has an Oran Berry and a potion. On the third try, I held an Oran Berry so I could at least last longer, just for Roxanne to use 2 potions. In the end, I survived with 1 health, finishing the fight by countering a Rock Tomb. That fight was a lot harder than I was expecting. On my way out of Rustboro, I did the optional fight with Mary, and it was pretty easy. Mirror Coat for Wingull and counter for Trico. It's nice that the rival doesn't just spam Sand Attack like Blue does. Up next is... Jesus. Alright, so this Meditite just about never attacks, to the point where it wasted so much of my time that I had to start using Struggle to win. It's blowing my mind just how many Pokemon borderline refuse to attack me. This guy has Meditate to increase his attack, and not a single move that uses his attack stat. This is the real pain of the Wobbuffet challenge. Eventually, I beat that trainer, but I couldn't beat Brawly. His second Pokemon is a Meditite who spams Bulk Up until he's fully powered up, then Focus Punch. By the time that happens, there's just no way I'd survive the whole fight. So I'm gonna have to level up more first. I decided to give Steven his letter and go back to Devoncorp for the experience share to get that out of the way early. I'd love to use experience share to level up Wobbuffet, but I'm not allowed to use other Pokemon in battle, so I'll have to level the normal way. As I'm sure you can see, grinding with Wobbuffet is incredibly slow and painful. Eventually, I came up with a reasonably tolerable strategy though. First, I run out of power points for all of my moves, then I use Struggle to grind. Every time I get really hurt, I use the money that I get from selling the Zigzagoon's pickup items to buy potions. Believe it or not, this actually works really well and massively sped up grinding. Fun fact, you can actually watch a little bit of that grind session in a vlog I did, thanking you guys for watching. I'll have it in the card in the top right if you want to see that. I got to level 25 and went for Brawly again, this time using Struggle. Although my insane amount of health is nice, Wobbuffet's attack stat is still terrible, and struggling against enemies that buff their defense with Bulk Up and love using super potions really chips my health down. This is probably required though, since 20 counters just isn't enough to beat all 3 of his Pokemon, considering how often they're faking me out with things like Bulk Up. After the longest 6 minutes of my life, Brawly just hardly manages to beat me. I grinded a bit more before remembering that because I delivered the letter, I can just go straight to Slateport, so I skip ahead to there. Easily clear out the beach with Struggle, and unlock the ability to buy Pop from the beach house. These are much cheaper to buy than Super Potions, so they'll be incredibly helpful for healing me between fights while grinding with Struggle. I gave Brawly another try at level 31 and got super lucky, taking out Meditite before he could use Reflect, and crit Makuhita for most of its health. Shame about his berry, or my follow-up would have taken him out without him using any potions. I nearly lost thanks to all the bulk ups making his defense too high, but luckily, critical hits bypass stat changes and managed to win me the fighting badge. Next up is... God damn it. Okay, so I've put this off for a while, but I have to explain how I deal with double battles. Because I'm not allowed to use anyone but Wobbuffet in battle, every time I see a double battle coming, I need to run all the way to the Poke Center, deposit my Zigzagoons, and run back. This forces the game into a single battle instead. Then after, I run back and get them so that they can keep picking up items for me. It's a pain. Next up is May again, and I borderline sweep her with Struggle. It really does feel like Struggle's pretty much the only way to progress in your average battle right now, until at the very least I can get more power point ups for Counter and Mirror Coat. I take out the trainers around Moville, and I get the Macho Brace from the family to the north. It's a held item that lowers your speed but doubles your effort values. Now, I'm lame and hardly know how effort values work, but I assume it's a good thing, so I use it. I swept my way through the Electric Gym trainers without too much issue, and it's on to Watson. First attempt, I get paralyzed in one move, and then Voltorb crits me with Self-Destruct. Yeah, I didn't win that attempt. I restarted to save my wallet and tried a few more times, but Magneton is just an absolute brick wall. So I decided to hit up the Poke Center and get my power points back to see if I have more luck with Mirror Coat, and honestly fare about the same. I ended each individual fight with about the same health I did when I used Struggle, although there's a whole lot of luck involved due to always ending up paralyzed early in the battle. Oh, by the way, this gets asked a lot in the other challenges, so I thought I should clarify. You know how I always show the in-game timer during the Hall of Fame at the end of the challenge, right? The real time I spent is way longer than that. See, because I restart the game every time that I lose a big battle to a gym leader or a rival to save my money, the downside is that I don't get the experience for beating the Pokemon in the failed attempts. And also, the timer is reset to whatever the time was in the game when I first made that in-game save. So far as the game is concerned, when I do things like fail to Morty 100 times, the game thinks that I won first try because I kept resetting the entire fight until I won. Anyway, a few tries later and I get to Main Critic. I don't know how to pronounce this. But by then it just keeps wasting my Mirror Coats by using Howl, and I run out. I probably would have beaten him if not for that and his berry. It sucks, but I'm gonna have to spend another hour or so leveling. I hit level 43 and go after Watson again. This time, Voltorb instantly self-destructs, hardly hitting me. But Electrike paralyzes me right away, removing the advantage I had from the quick Voltorb fight. I struggle through the Magneton and just keep losing moves to paralysis. Considering my own struggles do very little damage to Magneton, I really can't afford to be paralyzed. Eventually I lose after Magneton gets Super Potioned twice. I come back after restoring my power points at the Poke Center and decide to try and Mirror Coat my way through again. Voltorb still opens with self-destruct. It must have something to do with my level or something, because he didn't used to do that. Electrike does what he does best, waste my power points with Howl and Leer 6 times in a row, making it literally impossible to have enough Mirror Coats to win the fight. So I restarted. Do you see why I hate trying battles through counterattacking? If they have even a single stat-changing move, they're just gonna spam that while I run out of counters and Mirror Coats, not knowing when they'll actually decide to attack. I have to grind even more. You know, I've been thinking a lot about exactly why I do these challenges. At the time that I started this challenge, my previous 3 videos had only about 1,000 views each, so it's not like many people wanted to watch them. But I just had so much fun reading the comments after. You guys are hilarious. It really makes me feel like you guys are kind of making the videos along with me, because I get to incorporate stuff that you guys suggest into the videos. At the time that I'm reading this sentence, I just checked, my previous few challenges just started to really pick up traction, and they're at 50 to 100,000 views now. And yes, I get it, I'll plug the Twitter less, sorry about that. Anyway, I gotta get back to the challenge. You just keep leaving me funny comments for me to tweet out later. Anyway, I leveled up to level 47 and still couldn't win, so I power leveled again to 50. With some great paralysis and crit luck, I finally managed to win. You might notice that despite being over double the level of everything I'm fighting, Wobbuffet does almost no damage. Well, since Wobbuffet is a counter Pokemon, his attack stat is just terrible. At level 50, he only has 49 attack, far lower than most Pokemon would have by that point. That means that in spite of my insanely high health, I'll still need to be a very high level to struggle my way through most fights with trainers that have more than 2 Pokemon. I thought that I'd have smooth sailing for a while, but the next boss is Maxie, the leader of Team Magma, and I couldn't even beat his first Pokemon, Mightyena. Its abilities intimidate, so my already awful attack goes down by a stage. He uses Bite, that's super effective against me, and it makes me flinch. And he has Sand Attack to lower my accuracy. At this rate, it really looks like I won't be able to beat the game without maxing out my level at some point. That's when I get a good idea for the long run. This is the Pokemon Emerald Pickup Ability Chart. My Zigzagoons will be able to start picking up rare candies 4% of the time once they've reached level 21. The sooner I get them to that, the better, but I can't use them in combat. So one by one, I start giving them experience share while grinding Wobbuffet to level them up. Over the course of the game, every rare candy that I get will shave at least an hour off grinding by the end of the game, so it's best to do it now. I get Wobbuffet up to level 58 and give him a King's Rock that one of my Zigzagoons picked up. It allows me to occasionally cause flinching. This time I'm faster than Mightyena, so at least he can't make me flinch with Bite. Simply being faster and having the ability to make his Pokemon flinch made this fight much easier, and I managed to struggle my way through with half my health left. I arrive at Lava Ridge City and, oh, what's this? Why, this old lady just gave us an egg. I wonder what could possibly be contained within this egg. I haven't the faintest clue. Viewers, why don't you comment down below with your guesses as to what could possibly be hiding within this mystery egg? Well, we'll have to wait and see who's right. Next up is the Fire Gym with Flannery. It starts off with a Numel and a Slugma who go down with a few hits. Camerupt is a bit tankier, but still not that scary with moves like Tackle. If anything, I'm happy that Flannery is using up her Hyper Potions on him, because their last Pokemon is a pretty scary Torkoal. Not only is Torkoal a very tanky Pokemon who hits hard, twice with Overheat, during a sunny day, but it can Body Slam, giving me a chance to get paralyzed. Lo and behold, I get paralyzed on her second slam. With a bit of luck, and Flannery using up her Hyper Potions on the wrong Pokemon, I managed to just hardly squeak by with a victory. Next is onto our dad's normal type gym, and I think we finally are going to have an opportunity to use actual moves again. Norman's Pokemon are super tanky, so I want to see if giving Counter a go would be the best move. I spent all of my power point ups on Counter so that I won't run out and try for the fight. First up is Spinda, and of course, Spinda, turn after turn, just wastes my time with Teeter Dance to confuse me, and almost never attacks. Eventually he starts using Facade, and I counter a few times, but genuinely I'd probably be better off using Struggle. Eventually Spinda goes down after taking 150 of my health and 10 of my counters. Next is Vigoroth, and he keeps faking me out between Facade, Slash, and Feint Attack. Slash and Facade are physical attacks, Feint Attack is special in Gen 3. Eventually I beat him, but my health is very low. Next is Slacking. He yawns so that I'll sleep next turn. I forgot that I should have Safeguarded. He doesn't attack once while I'm asleep, so I woke up and used Safeguard. Then we both tried Counter at the same time. 3 times. This fight sucks. Then it happened a 4th time in a row, and I literally turned the game off and on, went to go fish up a Magikarp to waste my power points on, because I'm clearly gonna have to use Struggle for this stupid fight. 2 struggles and Spinda is down, saving me about 130 health over the last fight. Vigoroth goes down fast without too much damage due to a flinch. We're now in much better shape for Slacking. Unfortunately, we do very little damage, and he uses Counter whenever he can. Thankfully, I should have more health than him, but then again, he has potions and we don't. We trade counters and struggles for a while, but his critical Facade and Hyper Potion left me in an unwinnable state. Unless I want to fight Norman for hours and hope for perfect crits and flinches, I'm gonna have to grind even more. A couple hours later, and I'm grinding on Jagged Pass when the egg starts to hatch. Last chance to make your guess as to what the Pokemon is, everybody. Are you ready? It's Youngster Joey, who calls us to tell us to follow me on Twitter, where I tweet out screenshots of 2 people commenting during the same minute. One saying how much they love the Youngster Joey gag, and the other one saying that they hate it. Thank you so much, Mika the Light Paladin, in the comments section on the last video for this amazing gag suggestion. This is why I always ask you guys to comment, because you come up with gold like this that makes it onto the show. Anyway, a day later and I'm at level 69. Nice. I took another shot at Norman, but even with all of that extra health and some decent flinch luck, I still can't beat his 3rd Pokemon. This challenge is 1,000 times harder than I thought that it would be. I failed a few more times, and that's when I got fed up and decided that, you know what, I'm gonna have to be level 100 at some point, I may as well just do it now. I grinded hard on Jagged Pass, since the experience there is passable, and I can one-shot everything. Checking my Zigzagoon's items every few fights, just hoping for rare candy. In the end, I hit level 76 and used 24 rare candies to max out. Here's what my stats were at level 100. The health is incredible, but the attack power is dire. I genuinely don't think Wobbuffet is strong enough to beat this game. I also put experience share on a Zigzagoon. This is to future-proof me a little bit. I'll explain why a little bit later if the problem that I'm anticipating arises. I managed to sweep my way through Norman's team, but even at level 100, it cost me half my health. I also completely swept May. It felt good to finally win a trainer battle without taking an eternity. Next is Winona, and she nearly killed me. I have 70 levels on some of these Pokemon, and I still nearly died. This Skarmory's defense, sand attack, hyper potions, and my own terrible luck all put together, and I genuinely thought I might lose this fight. Good lord. The next fight with May is a total sweep, as was Maxie in the Magma base, so we're straight on to... Oh, I actually didn't know that the Psychic Gym Leaders wouldn't fight you if you have only one Pokemon. Okay. I go and catch a Magikarp, name it Catcha for old time's sake, and just use Splash so that it affects the battle as little as possible. I thought the battle wouldn't be too hard, but as it dragged on minute by minute, I had a sinking feeling in my chest. I don't stand a chance. I can't even come close. It's 2-on-1, struggle can't be aimed, so I can't focus on an individual target. There are 4 Pokemon and a buttload of Hyper Potions. The luck required to win this fight would be insane. But I had an idea. Remember when I said I put EXP share on a Zigzagoon? Well, now it's level 44. Look at this pickup chart again. Give it a moment. Do you see what I see? From level 81 onward, a Pokemon with pickup has a 1% chance of picking up leftovers. Leftovers heal you for 1/16 of your max health every turn when holding them. Well, 1/16 of Wobbuffet's insane 562 health is 35. That's actually a lot of free health every turn, and it's a held item, not a battle item. This means that I need to level up my Zigzagoon entirely with an experience share so he gets half the experience of kills, and any rare candy that I'm lucky enough to find 37 times, and then fight wild Pokemon over and over until my Zigzagoon picks up an item, and then every time he does, it has a 1 in 100 chance of being leftovers. But that would be insane. I know you guys would be bummed out, but very understanding if I had to use some damn potions against the rest of the gym leaders. I know you guys would be fine with that. But I'm not fine with that. I did it. I leveled up that damn Zigzagoon in the ocean 37 times, and then I grinded until he picked up leftovers. This took about 2 days of me grinding away at the game every spare moment I had. Even while editing other videos for the channel, I was grinding in Pokemon Emerald on a different monitor. This is for you guys. This is for all of you that gave my channel the biggest growth it has had in 8 long years. For all of your kind comments, and for sticking with me and being so patient with how long it took me to make this video. For all of you who checked out my Let's Plays, who came to the Twitch streams to say hi, who tweeted at me to say that you love the show, who came into my Discord to join the community, and who made me feel like the last 8 years were worth it. Thank you. After an incredibly slow 15-minute fight, I managed to struggle my way through the Psychic Gym Leaders. Them putting me to sleep and later burning me really didn't help. Considering how insanely long that battle was, there was absolutely no way with any luck in the world that I would have been able to win that fight without leftovers. Next is the 8th and final gym leader, the Water Gym Leader Hoenn. I remember this guy being a pain, so I'm not looking forward to this fight. Lo and behold, it was just as brutally long and boring as I expected. It started as an easy but slow sweep, but by the time I got to Kingdra, it all went downhill. Hoenn's Kingdra likes to use double teams so that I miss a lot, then rest every time that I've done too much damage to him. Considering how little damage I do and how rarely I hit due to double team, this makes the fight far, far longer than it should be, considering I heal more than Kingdra can hurt me. Eventually, I win simply because Kingdra runs out of rests. The battle was just a brutally slow 21 minutes of me occasionally hitting the A button. I make my way to Victory Road, but I have to deal with Wally first. It's a regular slow sweep, as you'd expect. See, this is the issue with using a Pokemon with moves so bad that it's better to just use Struggle and no items. There's no real strategy, and not much to recap. There's no decision I can make, I just struggle until either I die or they die. I guess as much like the Magikarp video, the appeal of this one is just seeing what I had to go through to make this video for you. Anyway, Wally didn't cause me any serious issues, so I move on to the Elite Four. I deposit my amazingly named HM Pokemon since I won't be needing them anymore. Then I start with Sydney, the Dark Trainer. I was worried right off the bat since I'm Psychic, his Intimidate cuts my attack instantly, and Mightyena opens with Sand Attack. Twice. But I can't exactly do anything about that now, can I? I just have to keep struggling and hoping for the best. Thankfully, Crunch doesn't do too much damage, although it's still more than I heal with leftovers, as he sand attacks me a third time. Another struggle leaves him with a sliver of health, and of course, Sydney heals him. I really just want Mightyena gone before he has time to sand attack me more. And of course, a while later, he hits me with a 4th sand attack. My accuracy is just awful by this point. Eventually, I beat Mightyena, but by then I've been sand attacked 6 times, the maximum amount. Plus, I was just hardly above half health from Crunch chipping me away. Next is Shiftry, and he's using Double Team. Oh dear God. He's raising dodge chance, and my accuracy is down. I got an insanely lucky critical hit doing massive damage, but my follow-up attack only brought him to low enough health to be healed, not knocked out. Luckily for me, Sydney didn't heal him, and I finished him off. Hey, did you notice I'm not actually missing that much? I genuinely have no idea why. You've been watching one long unbroken clip for a while that I just speed up and slow down in editing for a reason. I wanted to prove that this was all in one take, and that I never reset my accuracy in any way. Does anyone know why I'm hitting this much despite 6 sand attacks and some double teams? Like, I'm still missing a lot, but I should be missing more than this, surely. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. Anyway, Cacturn Leech Seeds me, and this is a massive problem I didn't see coming. I hardly ever hit, and he's healing off me every turn. In fact, because my health is so high and Leech Seed does damage based off max health, Cacturn fully heals every single turn. In spite of me being level 100 and having leftovers, Cacturn actually beats me. I'm not willing to give up yet though, so I just keep trying over and over, hoping to get to him with better accuracy and have some critical hit luck. Eventually, after tons of attempts, I had this amazing run where my attack power got raised twice by Shiftry using Swagger, and I didn't get hit with a single sand attack. Cacturn went down with 1 hit. If my confusion had made me hit myself there, I probably would have stopped playing for the day. It was that stressful. Crawdaunt wasn't too bad outside of me hitting myself in confusion for a few turns. Once I finally hit him, he nearly fainted. A few more attacks and he was down. Absol was out next, and he went down in 2 struggles. I don't know why Sydney loves using Sword Dance so much. He should probably be going for status afflictions. I'm awful at dealing with those. Actually, that's worth pointing out. In Gen 1 and 2, I'd get poisoned, paralyzed, or put to sleep all the time, but in Gen 3, it seems like they never really go for that in big battles. Strange. Anyway, next is Ghost Trainer Phoebe, starting with Dusclops using Protect. Twice. I always hated that move. When I do hit it with a struggle, it doesn't do much, and he confuses me with a Confusion Ray. This will be a slow one. Right off the bat, I get worried when Dusclops uses Shadow Punch, and it does more damage than I can heal with the leftovers, so it is possible that he can whittle me down. Thankfully, that doesn't happen, and I take him out without too many issues. Next is Beignet, and I'm pretty healthy going into this battle. 1 crit nearly takes out Beignet as she Shadow Balls me for a lot more damage than most do. Another struggle, and I get an unnecessary crit, finishing her off. Another Beignet is out and uses Shadow Ball, critting for massive damage and lowering my special defense. That's actually really worrying. Lowering my special defense could get me killed. I go down to half health but manage to win with a few more struggles. Next is Dusclops, and I realize just how few ghost Pokemon the game must have. Dusclops has his own Shadow Ball that he likes to spam, seriously worrying me. Any of these could lower my special defense even more, and my health is already getting pretty bad. It's actually pretty likely that I can lose the fight based on that. Dusclops lasts a long time between his Citrus Berry and him being pretty tanky, but eventually I take him down. My special defense did get lowered 2 more times though, so it's looking bad. Last is Sableye, and my health isn't great. Sableye starts using Double Team, putting the Fear of God into me, then uses a 50 damage Nightshade. I start thinking I'm gonna lose the fight when boom, I just take her out. I can't believe I managed to beat Phoebe first try. Next is Ice Trainer Glalie, starting with Cielo. I always hated dealing with these things. Tanky, and it uses ice moves. Not a fun combo. It makes it hail and starts using Body Slam, instantly making me worried about getting paralyzed this fight. An eternity later, and I beat Cielo without getting paralyzed. I was lucky. Next is Glalie. I never remember this thing exists. It doesn't even look that much like a Pokemon to me. It's like a generic Japanese RPG random encounter bad guy, you know? It has Crunch, so that's a pretty rough move for a psychic type like a Wobbuffet to deal with. I had to say, too, these Pokemon using Hail is a real problem. It undoes my leftovers since it deals about the same damage as I heal. I managed to take out Glalie without too many issues, although my health isn't amazing. Next is another Glalie. This one uses Shadow Ball and lowers my special defense. Once again, something to be very much worried about. Thankfully, it ends up using Explosion. It hurts like hell, but honestly, I'd probably end up with less health if it didn't explode. Next is another CeeLo, and my health is just awful. Weirdly enough, CeeLo missed me with a blizzard during a hailstorm. Maybe I'm just misremembering, I probably am, but I could have sworn that hail made Blizzard 100% accurate. Anyway, Blizzard was my death sentence because the second one, not only did it nearly kill me, but it froze me solid. Another Blizzard and some hail damage took me out. This is gonna take a lot of attempts. Eventually, after many attempts, I got insane dodge and crit luck, managing to beat the second CeeLo with 311 health left due to lucky critical hits, leaving me with a wall rain to deal with. This thing is an absolute tank, hitting hard with ice beams and surfs. I swear, after how many attempts I've made at Glacia, every ice beam I tense up, worried about freezing. Ice Beam and Surf are both 90 power and 100% accurate, so I can't even hope for them to miss. I just need good crit luck. In the first stroke of true luck I've had all run, I managed to just barely survive, winning with 54 health on my first attempt where I actually got to this wall rain. Finally, the Pokemon gods threw me a bone. After that massive pain, I saved and took on Drake, the Dragon Trainer. First out is Shelgon, who likes to spam Protect and Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb lowers my speed, but it doesn't actually hurt much, so I can out-heal him. My speed gets lowered quite a bit, but I win without too many issues. Next is Flygon. I instantly get worried as he has Crunch, and it does more damage than I can heal. Thankfully, I crit him for half his health in damage early. He's faster than me though, thanks to all the Rock Tombs. He doesn't end up being that bad, and I struggle him down without taking too much damage. After that, Salamence and his Intimidate lowers my attack power right out of the gate as he chomps us for a ton of damage. Even my critical struggle doesn't do much. This might be a problem. Not only that, but he lowers our special defense with Dragon Claw. He easily makes us faint. I want to take this opportunity to show you what it looks like when I have to grind out these big battles. It's just me mashing the A button until I eventually die, then resetting the game and trying again. There's no strategy since I have no choice, it's just struggle over and over, then hope I win. With some fights, I'm sitting here doing this for a couple hours. This is why I don't recommend this challenge for those of you watching along at home. It's not fun. Eventually, through sheer insane luck, we beat Salamence and get to Altaria, who we easily take out, but with very little health left. I almost wish that I could elongate the fight, because I sometimes out-heal Altaria and I would kill for more health. Last is Kingdra, who instantly smokescreens us, lowering our accuracy, and hits us with a shockingly damaging Surf. Not only that, but he uses Dragon Dance to raise his attack. This is a fight that will likely come down to the simple fact that if I get crit once, I'll lose. The longer the fight takes due to smokescreen, the greater chance that he'll eventually crit me, and I won't be able to out-heal him. Thankfully, I eventually managed to beat Kingdra, once again with almost no health left. Last is the Pokemon Challenge Wallace, and I just want to show you this footage. This is a bunch of attempts that I made at him, and unfortunately, this battle is impossible to win with these rules. Do you see why? His second Pokemon is Tentacruel, and it always uses Toxic, a form of poison that gets stronger every turn. He uses it every time, and it's simply impossible to win fast enough with Toxic to not kill us. This means that, depressingly, after all these attempts, it's impossible to beat the game with this set of rules. If I were allowed to use items, it would be a walk in the park, but like this, I could critically hit every single attack, and I still wouldn't even come close to winning. Man, it really sucks to fail on the last trainer before the credits of the game. Wobbuffet is just too weak. The video's not over though, because I know you'd all be curious if I didn't show you, but I'm sure we're all wondering if Wobbuffet could beat the after-game battle with Steven. Well, that means I'll have to use items to beat Wallace to get there, so let's do that. First, I tried using an antidote every time I got poisoned, but Ludicolo leech-seeded us, and that just instantly is a death sentence, as they heal more off of it than I can deal damage. Second try, and I just use 6 X attacks, and win easily! Yay! I'm kind of in the Hall of Fame, sort of. I half did it. Alright, enough wasting time. Credits roll and I make my way to Meteor Falls to find the secret final battle with Steven. He sends out Skarmory, and yeah, he uses Toxic every single attempt. It starts well, but Toxic happens every single time, so of course I don't stand a chance. Second try, and I'm allowing the use of items just to see what happens. 6 X attacks and antidotes for every Toxic. Even with 6 X attacks, his team is still just way too difficult. Next, I try with 6 X attacks, 6 X defends, and a dire hit. After that, I sweep through him like he was nothing, as you'd probably expect. I wish it was more cinematic, but, you know, it's just me using Struggle over and over like the rest of the challenge. That said though, I think it was absolutely incredible that I even made it to the Elite Four, let alone made it all the way to the Pokemon Champion. It's crazy to think that there were only 2 trainers between me and beating the whole game without items. This was actually harder than the Magikarp challenge and required even more grinding. Yes, that sounds as crazy to me as it probably does to you, but I grinded even more in this challenge. Did you notice that this one took so much longer than they usually do to come out? That was with me rushing like crazy. In fact, I'm probably gonna rush editing like this like crazy. In this, struggle is always horrible, and I'm not allowed to use battle items. If I had items in battle, this would have been a cakewalk, but I somehow managed to make it all the way to the Pokemon Challenge without battle items. I'm actually pretty proud of that. For my next challenge, we're going on to Generation 4 with Pokemon Platinum. It's a game I've only beaten once. In fact, there's a Let's Play of it in the top right corner in a card. Let's go with a very weak but somewhat manageable Pokemon since I'm pretty bad at Gen 4. Plus, my god, could my hands ever use a break after those last 2 challenges. I need something that actually has some moves to work with other than Struggle. My next challenge is going to be Pokemon Platinum with a team of 1 Pikachu, the Pokemon franchise's mascot. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I absolutely need more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. I'm having a lot of fun making these, mostly. Also, check out the playlist in the description if you want to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you want to see more Pokemon stuff that I've done, I did a challenge where I beat Gen 1 with only a single Rattata, another where I beat Gen 2 with a single Sunkern and no items, and Fire Red with 1 Magikarp. Also come to my Twitch streams and tell me that this video sent you. I'm interested to see how many people actually do it. Thank you so much everybody for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.